In his rookie season with the Suns, his 6'10", 240-pound Bayard Forrest.
Babe, thanks so much again for everything today. I really feel like I've learned a lot.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
But now I'd really like to talk to you a little bit about actually your game. I mean, was it something where, I know that you played in high school, college, and, and into a couple other steps and into the NBA. Did you start out when you were in, as you were growing up, knowing that you wanted to be a professional basketball player?
I never thought of playing professional basketball as much as just trying to give my best. My life verse is Colossians 3:23, and it says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for men. So the goal for me, and it was a challenge all along, was to make sure that what I did was done for God's glory. So even when I was called at age 12 into full-time ministry, I really felt God was calling me to do so. I thought that, well, okay, I'll be a missionary in basketball then.
Yeah.
And so whatever I've done, I've tried to use it for God's glory.
Wow. As you mentioned earlier as well, your career kind of took some crazy turns as you went through high school and college. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
It was interesting because coming out of high school as a junior and a senior, I was a high school All-American. I was 6'8" as a junior, 6'9" as a senior, averaging 25 points and 20 rebounds a game. And everybody was going, wow. And I had 130 scholarship offers to pretty much every major university in the country. So everybody thought I was going to do well with that. But it was interesting because then I felt like God was saying, no, I don't want you to go to one of those big universities like UCLA or Hawaii or North Carolina or Duke. And God wanted me to go to the small Christian college. So I went to a school of 600 students and ended up being a 3-time college All-American, and we won the national championship my junior year, and I was voted most valuable player, and then I was drafted into the NBA, but I felt like I'd promised the team that I would give them 4 years, so I turned that down and finished my 4th year, and then I was drafted by the Seattle Supersonics, number 19. That meant I was guaranteed I was going in the NBA, and then God asked me to give up doing that and playing a year with Athletes in Action. Played with them. We had the #1 amateur team in the world, and then the Phoenix Suns bought my rights from the Seattle Supersonics, and they signed me to a contract, and I played 2 years, ended up hurting my back, and I had to call it quits, but that was okay because then I got to do what I do now, and I love telling people about Jesus.
Wow. That's awesome, and as you've mentioned, going along that with Jesus, how are some ways, along the way that has impacted the way that you've played, the way that you've trained to win, as you kept saying out there on the court? What are some ways that that's impacted you?
What a great question, because for me, I've tried to apply that verse, Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for men. I felt like the best way for me to have a positive witness wasn't to just try to shove Jesus down somebody's throat, but show them Jesus changes your life, and He gives you something to live for way more than just making money or having a big reputation or being the best on your team.
Well, babe, this has been really great. You've taught me a lot of cool things. What's some advice that you give to the young people out there?
Brady, if there was one thing that I'd want to be able to tell kids, it would be, at whatever age they are, or adults as well, I would tell them that applying my life verse would be worthwhile for anybody, because God's Word says it's profitable for everybody, for teaching, for reproof, for correction, for training in righteousness. It's all good. And so along with that, Colossians 3:23, I would say 1 Corinthians 10:31. I love that verse. It says, so whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God. So if we're practicing basketball, let's do it for God's glory. Don't do it so you look good. Do it so it honors God and brings glory to Him. So whatever it is, maybe you're not a basketball player, maybe you're into music, maybe you're just a good student, maybe you're just a good friend. If you're going to be a good friend, be a good listener and do it for God's glory. So always God is looking down and saying, there you go, you're doing it my way. Let's honor God in all we do.
Babe, that's great. Thanks again so much for everything. Thank you for teaching me to train to win. Thank you for teaching me that no matter what I do, if I'm sweeping a floor, if I'm shooting basketballs or playing guitar, to do it to my best for God.
That's right.
Thank you so much again for everything, babe. I hope to run into you in the future. Yeah!